Hi, class. This is my presentation on observational research. My name is Irene Jones. So, just want to start with this slide. What observational research is? Observation, as the name implies, is a way of collecting data through observing. Observation as a data collection method can be structured or unstructured. In structured observation, data collection is conducted using typically specific variables and according to a predefined schedule. Unstructured observation, on the other hand, is conducted in an open and free manner in a sense that would be no predetermined variables or objectives. So my topic for my dissertation is still being finalized, I guess I should say. However, I do have an interest in studying something as it relates to gender differences or gender bias. Um, the next slide will kind of give you what I am going to kind of suggest of a good observation, but it will have something as it relates to gender bias or gender differences. I did some research and wanted to do something different from my previous courses. I came across some interesting yet shocking articles as it relate to gender bias in the classroom. This is not my final dissertation, but I do feel that this type of topic would be a great topic for observational research. The purpose of this study would be to investigate gender bias in a classroom setting, more specifically, whether boys and girls at a middle school in an area of Chicago, which similar amounts receive similar amounts and kind of and do they receive similar amounts and kind of attention from their teachers? The goal would be to address the following questions. Do boys receive more teacher attention than girls? What kinds of attention do teachers generally give boys, either positive, negative, or neutral, academic or behavioral? And what kind of attention do teachers generally give girls, either positive, negative, or neutral, academic, or behavioral? So I guess you could say that's kind of like the three hypotheses I will kind of try to play with in this research. Moving to the next slide here. Um, Observation method procedure. So the step-by-step process would be participants, materials, design, and procedure. In the next few slides, I will break down how each will be used. In this study, the research participants will be, I kind of played with some numbers here, 8 middle school teachers from a private school. Um, just assuming 5 of the participants will be male and 4 female. The classes that these 8 teachers lead will be made up with close to an equal balance of male and female students between the ages 11 and 14 years old. The study will be conducted through observational research. The materials, the camera function will be used in the iPad to capture 2 lessons of the participants choosing. The iPad will be set up in the corner of the classroom. The we, as the researcher and my team, we will use frequent chart to document different kinds of feedback each teacher made, making a distinction between what gender the teacher was interacting with, and then what kind of feedback was being given. I kind of came up with the whole I doubt that I can sitting there physically and observe because I would probably be working a 9 to 5. So assuming a good material method would have a camera be set up with my crew and just have an iPad kind of doing something virtually. That's probably something I would try to implement or try to work for. So I gave the iPad and the camera setup as my materials. As for the design step, the research will be conducted over a period of 1 month. The participants will be informed that although the purpose of researching will not be revealed, the participant general teaching strategy will not be analyzed. A consent form for participants will be given out. Participants will be asked to choose 2 lessons that had lots of kind of that teacher-student interactions for the filming purposes. Each participant will be filmed for two 25-minute long sessions. Before the observed lesson began, We thought, I think this is kind of important, that my team or I informed the students and made them aware of the iPad and what they were used for and what we were studying, just to typically just for the collected data of the study. Interpreting the findings. After the recording sessions and as the researcher and my team, we will analyze to see if the participant gave more attention to either male or female students, as well, or what kind of attention was given. Simply just in general. We will analyze the data and write the research report. We will avoid trying picking and choosing instances of behavior out of context. The goal would be to simply synthesize and interpret the data into an understandable and enlightening piece of writing and just simply provide any recommendations that to be needed. While this is a great topic to study, and I found this kind of interesting, and as I was putting this presentation together and how I will interpret if I was studying this, I broke down a plan as best as I can and how I will implement this action research. However, there are a number of factors that could affect the findings. The data that served as the basis of the study was from only one school with a fairly low population. I think in order to better apply the findings, more research should be conducted in a variety of schools in the area, as well in other locations. Another limitation of the study was only middle school classroom. In order to better apply the findings, a variety of grade levels from kindergarten to grade 12 should participate in the study. This type of study should be analyzed through all grades, not just one specific, because this gender bias can kind of happen from preschool, kindergarten, all the way to high school. So that brings some limitations there. And final one here, that 20-minute observation may not seem long enough. Um, More time could be needed for this type of case study to truly analyze this type of research. There's so much that can go into it, so I kind of view the limitation. I was just kind of playing with this presentation, but that 20-minute observation can come off not being long enough to truly analyze or break down and get all the information that is needed. So just in there. I thank you for taking time to review my presentation. I hope that you enjoy and thank you.